The Sex Bible, Part 1, author Paul Joannidis. Chapter 1, The Kiss. A kiss usually says more about a person than the size of their penis, and much more often serves as a signal to stop caressing. Kissing a partner's lips is much more emotional than caressing their genitals, although the latter can be much more pleasant. And there are reasons for this. We have been kissed constantly since early childhood, and we subconsciously perceive this as deep love. Lips and skin are also incredibly sensitive to touch. The main advice for kissers is to ask your partner how they like it best. Some people like gentle kisses, while others are turned on by much deeper kisses. Breathing through your nose while kissing will make it easier for you, and your partner won't feel like you're giving them artificial respiration. Don't forget to caress your partner's face, and take a breath so you don't drown your partner in saliva. During a French kiss, don't shove your tongue down your partner's throat. Open your mouth slightly wider to create a small space between your lips. Now you can use your tongue. Run the tip of your tongue over your partner's lips so as not to disturb the boundary of their half-open mouth with forward movements. Try to feel how willingly your partner responds to you. If your partner is ready to play with your tongue, you will understand. He or she may even be the first to put their tongue in your mouth. Or maybe you'll prefer gentle sucking on the upper or lower lip. Don't forget the sensitive corners of the lips, palate, gums, and teeth. Move slowly, listening to your partner and their feelings each time before moving on. Sucking on the tongue can be incredibly sensitive and seductive, but don't forget to brush your teeth and visit the dentist, as bad teeth can also cause bad breath. While kissing, you can run your fingers through her or his hair. At the same time, if women want to be touched on the chest, they will guide the guy's hands there themselves. You shouldn't touch her until you are sure it's okay to do so. The same applies to hands on the butt. You can get a pleasant sensation by gently running your hand down her back. People often want to be kissed not only on the lips, but also on the neck. Erogenous zones include those parts of the body that have folds, i.e., where the skin bends, which makes them particularly sensitive. These are the back of the knees, the outside of the elbows, the back of the neck, the area under the breasts, the eyelids, the armpits, the perineum, the spaces between the fingers, the toes, and the area behind the ears. Also the lower back and buttocks, or the stomach and navel. You can play around and eat fruit and desserts from these areas. Chapter 2. The Importance of Being Naked. Some people undress in front of their partner without any embarrassment, while others are shy about it. Women think their breasts are too small or asymmetrical, or that their buttocks are too large. Men are concerned that they are not in shape. Bring your fears out into the open, that is, talk about them. It usually helps you feel more comfortable. Particularly shy couples may find it helpful to undress in complete darkness and then explore each other's bodies. Men are usually concerned about whether they should be erect when they undress, but it doesn't matter. Many people are more aroused by partners who are almost naked, as this leaves more room for imagination and speculation about what is under the swimsuit or panties. Chapter 3. All about the penis. Our society teaches us that the sexual pleasure derived from sex between a man and a woman depends on the man's ability to achieve and maintain an erection. This puts a lot of pressure on men. This is a silly way of looking at sex. Many men have complexes about the size of their penis, even if, according to research, it is of average size. To the men themselves, it seems small. The penis can come in different shapes and sizes. You will find pictures in the book, but they are all perfectly normal. A study was conducted in which about 1,000 penises were measured. When measured from the pubic bone to the tip of the penis, the average length of a flaccid penis is 8.9 centimeters, and the average length of an erect penis is about 12.5 centimeters. It is much more important to be manly than to measure the size of your penis. Being manly means being responsible and, if necessary, completely independent. A man should have his own values and principles. He does not need to prove his masculinity by intimidating and threatening others. In addition, he should be caring, reliable, and kind. He should not think with his penis and be obsessed with finding a sexual partner. Many men do not have these qualities and only pretend to be masculine. These are guys who take their penises too seriously. The only way for them to convince themselves that they are real men is to hold masculine positions, drink a lot of beer, take drugs, and sleep around with different women. They are more concerned with appearances and have little substance. An erect penis is sometimes used to hide something that a man lacks as a person. If a guy is obsessed with his penis, over time it starts to interfere with his relationship with his partner. And women who grew up thinking that a distant, egocentric man who cares about his penis is the standard of masculinity cannot actually be close to such a man, and as a result, they spend their whole lives saying that all men are jerks. For a man who takes his penis too seriously, achieving female orgasm can become too important. His partner's orgasms become confirmation that he is a real man. For him, it is a matter of life and death. And so, even if you haven't experienced it, you have to fake an orgasm so as not to hurt your partner's feelings. Such men lose their emotional connection with their partner as soon as intercourse begins. At this point, the woman feels like a masturbation machine. Thus, sex becomes boring for both partners. Women think that having an erection in their pants means that a man is aroused, and if the penis does not get hard, then the guy is not aroused. But this is not the case. Men sometimes have unwanted erections. In addition, there are cases when a man feels sexually aroused, but his penis does not become hard, or it even becomes limp when it should get hard. The worst thing a woman can do when a guy can't get hard is to take offense. She thinks he doesn't like her. In fact, there are a billion reasons for erection problems. From fears that you are not good enough in bed to certain diseases such as diabetes. Fortunately, lovemaking does not depend solely on a man's ability to get an erection. Few women would refuse prolonged tender caresses and oral sex. Remember, the penis is just an accessory. You also have your fingers, lips, and imagination. Some young guys take erection drugs for fun. They think that their penis should be like that of a porn star. The problem is that once guys who don't need pills take them, they begin to lose confidence that they can get an erection without pills. And then these guys become dependent on these pills. Unfortunately, porn movies mislead not only men but also some women about men's sexual abilities. You can make a man come faster by pulling back the foreskin at the base. This will give the man a special sensation during penis stimulation. The frenulum is the most sensitive part of the penis. It is a median fold located just below the head of the penis and crosses the coronal sulcus. During oral sex, it is recommended to pay special attention to this area. Also, don't forget to lubricate your hands well with cream to speed up ejaculation. Grasp the penis with your palm and move your hand in a circular motion from top to bottom. Try to perform similar movements when giving a blowjob. At the same time, don't forget to massage the area between the testicles with your hand. Never be shy about touching your nipples or vulva. Some men can orgasm from this alone. Men have a spot on the penis that is hidden under the testicles or located in the perineum near the anus. Pressing on it will significantly increase arousal. Some guys have sensitive nipples while others do not. So check out this method of stimulation as well. The human anus is probably the second most sensitive part of the body. Stroke his anus with a wet finger or insert it, and you will be able to achieve ejaculation faster. A crunch or click may be associated with a penile fracture, which has nothing to do with a fracture in the usual sense of the word, since there are no bones in the penis. A penile fracture can occur when the penis is erect and one of the chambers or cylinders bursts. Imagine piercing a balloon with a knife. A penile fracture is repaired by suturing the side of the chamber. If this happens, internal bleeding may occur, which can lead to irreparable damage to the penis. This is accompanied by a crunching sound, a sudden loss of erection, severe pain, swelling, and bleeding. The penis can be saved with surgery within a few hours. If more time passes, the injury will be permanent, and the penis will resemble a deflated balloon. The most likely position in which penile trauma can occur is with the woman on top, but it can also happen if sex was rushed or in an unusual place, a car, elevator, toilet, etc. Chapter 4. Semen. Semen is secreted from several areas. The first stream is secreted from the Cowper's glands and the Lattera glands. The next wave of thick mass is produced by the prostate gland, accounting for 15 to 30% of the total volume. Then the testicles make a relatively small but powerful contribution, and the seminal vesicles contain the largest part of the semen, from 65 to 80%. The prostate gland also produces a substance called spermine, which has a characteristic bleach-like odor. Spermine is a member of a family of chemicals called polyamines. Although the concentration of spermine in semen is not as high as in pure spermine, it can still cause serious harm if it gets into the eyes. This is why the eyes start to burn. Spermine can also cause abdominal pain after swallowing semen. Doctors say that if the smell of semen has both a bleach and fishy odor, it indicates a hidden prostate infection. The fishy smell comes from polyamines released from decaying blood cells that appear in semen due to prostate infection. Men suffering from prostatitis may notice yellowish gelatinous balls in their semen. Suspicions may also arise if the semen has a sweet, honey-like smell. This may indicate a staphylococcal infection. The semen of a healthy man is mostly white and smells like clean, fresh bleach. Sperm allergy is caused by allergic reactions to a specific protein produced by the prostate gland. Symptoms may include pain, redness, burning, swelling, and itching. If the symptoms disappear when you use a condom and reappear after you have sex without a condom, you probably have a sperm allergy. In addition to a complete gynecological examination, a woman should undergo an intradermal test to determine whether or not she has a sperm allergy. During this test, a small amount of semen is injected under the skin to see if an allergic reaction occurs. Treatment should be supervised by an allergist or immunologist. The treatment is called a stepwise test, when a diluted solution of sperm is injected into the woman's vagina until the body is able to tolerate undiluted semen. The disadvantage of this treatment is that in order to consolidate the results achieved, it is necessary to have sex at least 2 or 3 times a week. But it may also be that you only have a reaction to the sperm of one man and that everything will be fine if you change partners. Sperm hates water, and when it comes into contact with it, it forms clumps like bubbles in a helium bubble lamp. These sticky clumps of semen then stick to your skin or the floor of the shower, or even to your hair, which has accumulated in the drain. Semen only curdles if it comes into contact with water during ejaculation. Otherwise, semen will become watery on its own after 10 to 15 minutes. Women are aware of this property, as semen drips from their vaginas after intercourse. Pre-cum is a natural lubricant. It makes the head of the penis slippery so that it is easier to penetrate your partner. It was previously believed that pre-cum did not contain sperm. However, the opposite has been proven. Up to 40% of pre-ejaculate contains a small amount of sperm. In theory, a woman can even get pregnant, so you shouldn't consider withdrawal as a method of contraception. Chapter 5. Fun with the foreskin. The foreskin protects the head of the penis and makes intercourse more enjoyable for women. On average, the foreskin begins to retract in boys at the age of 11. Pulling it back earlier can cause injury. Once it begins to retract, it should be washed daily in the shower. However, washing it constantly with soap will destroy its protective bacterial coating and lead to an unpleasant odor. Use soap no more than twice a week, and wash with plain water on the other days. Chapter 6. Testicles. The testicles are usually located behind the penis, so the pleasure you get from stimulating the testicles is not as intense as from stimulating the penis. However, this does not mean that they should be ignored. When a man is highly aroused or approaching ejaculation, his scrotum and testicles tighten to hug the shaft of the penis tightly. In some men, they tighten so much that you may wonder where the testicles have gone. The testicles are held in place by the spermatic cords, which suspend them in the lower abdomen. The scrotum surrounds the testicles. It is a thin layer of skin that is connected to the muscles. The scrotum is lined with a layer of smooth muscle which allows it to wrinkle. This helps to press the testicles closer to the body when it is too cold and move them away when it is too hot. In the womb, the scrotum grows from the same tissue as the skin of the labia minora, or labia majora of the female vulva. If the baby is male, nature sticks the labia together and the scrotum is formed. This is why the scrotum has a seam in the middle. The skin of the scrotum has the same nerve endings as the skin of the labia, and the sensations from caresses should be the same as when a lover stimulates a partner's labia with their hands or mouth. Usually, one testicle is larger than the other, and one hangs lower than the other. Therefore, do not forget to caress your partner's testicles, both during oral sex and when you are on top of your partner, as a supplement to sexual intercourse. Take care of your testicles during childhood, because if you receive a strong blow to them, it can lead to infertility in adulthood. Therefore, if your child plays any kind of sport, he should wear a jockstrap. 15% of young men have varicose veins in the spermatic cord of the scrotum. This is a condition in which the veins coming from the testicle enlarge, and it can be a source of serious discomfort in the scrotum. It looks like a bag of worms has appeared above one of the testicles. The testicles need a constant supply of blood from the body to receive oxygen and nutrients. The veins that feed the testicles have valves to deliver blood upward from the testicles to the heart and prevent backflow. If these valves do not function well, reduced pressure can lead to vein dilation. More than 90% of cases of varicose veins occur above the left testicle. This is because blood from the left testicle encounters more resistance than blood from the right testicle when returning to the body. Varicose veins of the spermatic cord may be associated with infertility. The symptoms of varicose veins of the spermatic cord disappear when the guy lies down, as the resistance to blood flow disappears. Therefore, see a doctor immediately. The term testicular cancer is used incorrectly. It should be called testicular cancer of one testicle, as usually only one testicle develops a tumor. The good news is that men only need one testicle to remain fertile and sexually active. Any man with testicles can develop testicular cancer. However, this disease most often affects young men between the ages of 15 and 35. If the disease is detected at an early stage, it can be cured in 97% of cases. Unfortunately, guys at this age are least likely to think about the possibility of getting cancer and therefore do not undergo any examinations. Every month, you should examine yourself for lumps or changes in texture. Some forms of testicular tumors can grow rapidly and double in size in less than 30 days and not feeling any pain. But if you have already discovered and removed a testicle, you should not be afraid of having a scrotum with only one testicle. For women, this is sometimes a subject of curiosity. There have been many cases where a woman has discovered this problem. Therefore, examine your men's testicles, both for their health and for pleasure. But it would be very wise to examine your own testicles once a month. It is best to do this when the scrotum is warm and the testicles are hanging loosely, for example, after taking a hot shower. You should look for the most common symptom. It is a small lump or knot on the side or sometimes on the front of the testicle. Another symptom is hardening of the testicle. Much less common symptoms include pain or discomfort in the testicles, back pain, swollen breasts in boys, or heaviness and unusual discomfort deep in the pelvic area. There are many conditions that look like testicular cancer, such as spermatocele. This is a cyst on the epididymis. It feels like a third smaller testicle. But in any case, see a doctor immediately and do not hope that it will go away on its own. In the book, you will find complete instructions on how to press to detect something. Testicular torsion occurs when the testicles twist inside the scrotum. This causes the blood vessels inside the seminal duct to twist, and blood stops flowing to the testicle. This is very serious. If emergency surgery is not performed within 4 to 6 hours, the man may lose his testicle. Therefore, any sudden or sharp pain in the testicles lasting more than 10 minutes should prompt you to seek immediate medical attention. The same applies to a pulling pain that appears for a few minutes and then disappears abruptly. Don't wait for the pain to go away, as it may be too late. That's it for this part. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, click on the bell, and leave your opinion about this book in the comments. Bye.